What's up, guys? Back again with a DraftKings video on the UFC Fight Night card, Lewis versus Hunt. And I'm just gonna go ahead and be giving you guys pretty much I'm gonna go over the whole card, just give you guys, you know, the pros and cons of each type of pick, and give you guys kind of, you know, the best value picks, and you know, the best chalk picks, or you know, the favorite picks. So let's go ahead and get started here. Let's start with the first fight of the night. We got Gotti versus Donghyun Kim. So Gotti's been losing all his fights in the UFC. Hasn't won at all yet. He's scoring 8.2 average per fight. That's obviously pretty bad. His opponent, Donghyun Kim, obviously scores a lot higher. He's coming off a win. And even in a loss against Polo Reyes, which was a really good fight. Highly suggest you guys watch it if you guys haven't watched that fight. It's, you know, it's one of those top 5 best fights of all time in the UFC. Pretty fun fights, a slugfest. He was able to score 58 points on that. And then finally in a win against O'Reilly, where he only lands 21 significant strikes, but he has 4 takedowns, a reversal, and 8 advances, you know, on the ground, you know, passing attempts or whatever. He scored 90 points, which is actually pretty damn good. So we know Donghyun Kim here is the guy who has, I guess I want to say, more potential to score higher here in the fight. He is the favorite, and I mean, obviously look at his price. He's a lot more expensive. I don't know. In the beginning, I kind of thought Gotti could be a good value play because, you know, it looks like he does have some good striking and whatnot, but his ground game doesn't seem to be that good, and his takedown defense also. And if Donghyun Kim does a similar game plan like he did in his last fight against O'Reilly, who was a kind of also a grappler, if he goes for that takedown type of route, you know, gets those judo takedowns on you, then, you know, he could score good again, and, you know, he'll stay out of danger from the striking from Gotti here. But if Donghyun Kim isn't going to be able to take him down, then, you know, Gotti does have a good chance of maybe landing some good shots, maybe even getting like a finish. But Donghyun Kim isn't like a slouch on the feet either. You know, he has some pretty good striking himself, but I do give the advantage to Gotti in the striking department. So it's pretty much kind of like a striker versus grappler matchup, because we know Donghyun Kim could strike, but, you know, he's more of a grappler. And we know Gotti, this guy's all about his grappling. Gotti's not going to want to wrestle at all, guys. So, you know, for DraftKings, I would kind of like avoid the fight or go Donghyun Kim on a lineup or two. And if you really think Gotti can maybe get a finish here, you know, he's on a 3-5 losing streak, hasn't won it on the UFC. I mean, Donghyun Kim isn't the best fighter, so he could catch him. So if you think that, you know, maybe throw Gotti, you know, in a lineup or two. But I think if you want to play any of these guys, you know, I wouldn't say it's like a terrible idea, but, you know, I wouldn't use any of these guys, to be honest. I mean, I know on one of my lineups I do have Donghyun Kim in there because I said fuck it, because I know he's gonna be able to get some takedowns, and with those takedowns, if he gets those passes, he could score decently, as you can see, like in his last fight, 90 points. So, you know, if I had to pick one, obviously I'm picking Kim here to win the fight. But yeah, as just a scoring perspective, then I'm going Kim. I don't see too much value on Gotti, so yeah, I'd have to go for Donghyun Kim on that fight, guys. The next fight, we got Chanmi Jian versus JJ Aldrich. Jian's making her UFC debut. She's 5-0. Obviously, she has no points in her thing. We got JJ Aldrich coming off a loss, scored 16 points against Juliana Lima. Both these girls are strikers. Both of them are going to come out to bang. Both of them are going to score points. It's just who's going to get the better of the exchanges, right? I really like Chanmi Jian's price. And since she is such a finisher, guys, she has, I think, 4 out of those 5 wins are by knockout. She has 4 first-round knockouts or first-round finishes. So I know Jian here packs more of a punch. And she is coming in this fight short notice, so that kind of sucks. But I think Jian could potentially maybe get like a late finish, even though I actually picked her to win by decision. As a value play, I really like Chanmi Jian to save you guys, you know, some money there. JJ Aldrich, I mean, she's 8,600, and I don't see her getting a finish. I mean, I could see her scoring, let's say, 80 significant strikes. So if she scores 80 significant strikes, so look at 31 significant strikes gave her 16 points. Obviously 40 is going to give you 20, so 80 would be 40 points right there, right? And if she wins, if you win by decision, I'm pretty sure you get I think, is it 30 points or 25 points? I think it's 30 points. Either way, she would get like 70 points there, just like that. So I don't think that's too high. So yeah, I don't really like the value on Aldrich there. I don't think she's a good favorite to pick. So if I had to pick one here, I'd have to pick Chanmi Jian because of the value. She's cheap. She could actually win the fight, and she's gonna be staying on the feet also and throwing a lot of strikes, so she could score for you too. So if she does lose, she'll probably still score you at least 20 through 30 points. Let's just go ahead and say that. So yeah, I like Chanmi Jian there as a value play. Don't like Aldrich at all for, you know, for a favorite play. Next fight, Zach Otto and who's he fighting against? Kunimoto. This guy's coming off a win. Average points 42.3. And we got Kunimoto here, 67.9. Both these guys are a little bit similar. I just think Otto's going to be the better striker. He's way more expensive. He's a good cash game play. I will say that. He's a good cash game play. But for GPP, I don't like it. I don't think he's going to get the finish against Kunimoto. I think it's going to just, you know, be kind of a slow type of fight. Both these guys kind of, you know, both of them could grapple. I think Kichi's going to be going for those takedowns on the feet. I just think Otto's going to be better. So if you want a really safe play, I think Otto, he's probably the second most safest play on the card besides Volkanovski. So, you know, for cash game, I highly suggest Zach Otto. I wouldn't pick Kunimoto at all here and as a value play either, guys. So yeah, I would go all in on Otto. Yeah, not much else to say about that fight. Next fight, we got John Moraga versus Mokhtarian. This guy's on a 3-fight losing streak. His average points 48.7. Askin Mokhtarian making his UFC debut. He has 12 finishes in his career. Out of those 13 wins, has only one time by decision, I think. And he can finish on the feet or on the ground. He has some submission wins and he has knockout wins. This guy's a heavy hitter, has some good striking. Moraga here, man, this guy has not looked good at all. I mean, look at in his losses, he's scoring 22, 16, and 21. Yeah, you know, I don't know. I think Moraga here is kind of on a decline for some reason. Yeah, so for me, I really like the value on Mokhtarian, guys. He's only $7,000, and I do think he get the win. I think if he keeps it standing, Moraga has kind of like a wrestling background, but he never really uses it at all in his fights. And I would say to win the fight, he has to take the fight to the ground. But even on the ground, Mokhtarian does have some submission skills. So, I mean, I just think Mokhtarian is going to be better on the feet. He has way better submission game, I would say. And yeah, I mean, Moraga has fought really good competition and whatnot. But, I mean, he's on a 3-fight losing streak, and you're saying he's worth fucking 9,200? You know, get the fuck out of here with that. I mean, come on now. What the fuck? I know some people are probably thinking this guy's a safe play, so they're going to play Moraga on their cash games, but you know, don't be surprised if that, you know, backfires on you. For me, I like Mokhtarian for a GPP play, obviously, you know, for the big tournaments to win that big money. Yeah, he's a really good pick, and you know, only $7,000, you're gonna save a lot of money picking him. So I like Mokhtarian here in the fight. Next fight, Dominic Steele versus Luke Jimao. This guy scored 42.1, 2-fight losing streak. Luke here is another guy making his UFC debut. He's the underdog. Obviously, as you can see, he's a lot cheaper, 7,700. So he's a good value play there. So yeah, Dominic Steele, very explosive guy, good wrestling, just very physical. Luke Jimao is a striker. I think he has a black belt in Taekwondo. I think he has a couple submission wins also, but he's more of a striker. Looks to be pretty good. He's the hometown guy, and I'm taking a shot at him. I think he could get a first round finish because Steele has been finished a lot of times in the first round, guys. So you know, I'm not gonna be surprised if Luke starches Steele like in the first round. You know, Luke has some good power, Dominic Steele, he's just more wild and he's just explosive. And I think once he starts to gas, Luke is gonna be able to pour it on him and get the finish. So I actually think Luke is gonna win probably like in the second round by knockout, but I'm not gonna be surprised if he wins in the first round, but by KO. The problem with picking Luke and what makes him risky is that I haven't seen too much of his ground game as far as takedown defense. And Dominic Steele, like I said, has some good takedowns. You know, he can get takedowns on you. Like look at against Roberts, he was able to get 6 takedowns. Against Dong Kyung Kim, that judo black belt, who was also in the card, he was able to get 4 takedowns. So Dominic Steele's a big, explosive guy with the wrestling. You know, he could pose a problem here to Luke. I feel like a lot of people are going to be picking Luke here. A lot of people are going to be picking Steele here. I feel like no one is going to be picking Luke Jimao here at all. So this guy could be a very sneaky play, especially if he goes out there and gets a first round knockout. You know, you could start off your DraftKings lineup with fucking, what is that, like an instant 90 points. I mean, yeah, so I'm picking Luke here just because of the value, and I actually do think he's going to be able to win the fight. Dominic Steele's a little bit chinny. If Luke catches him early, like I said in the fight, or if he just kind of wears him out, and in the second round, when Steele starts to gas, starts pouring it on him, he could get the finish. So, yeah, I'm going in on Luke, guys. I think he gets the win, and he's a good value play there. Next fight, Damian Brown versus Vince Pichel. This guy scores 63.2 points. His last fight, as you can see, very fucking inactive. Only 34 significant strikes, won by decision, 47 points. That's horrible. And, you know, he's the favorite here in the fight. Patel is on a 2-fight winning streak also. He's scoring very high, 123 and then 116. This guy has a lot of takedowns in his fights. His last 2 fights, 8 takedowns in each. That's really good for DraftKings, guys. 79.5 is his average. The reason Vince is cheaper is because he's been like on a 3-year layoff, guys. 3-year layoff. So he hasn't fought in 3 years. That's obviously a red flag. But I think, you know, he's saying he's healthy and whatnot. So I think if he comes in here healthy, his ground game will win him the fight. Damian Brown against Patrick, he got out wrestled. He just pretty much got taken down a lot of times, got grinded out. Patrick's a pretty good wrestler. I think he's like a Brazilian wrestler or something like that. Anyways, he wrestled the fuck out of him. And Patel is a strong guy. We see his stats here. He's able to land a lot of takedowns in his fights. He's a physical guy. He's going to go out there. Has good punching power. He's going to look for the takedown. And he's going to take Damian Brown. And he's going to dominate him on the ground, guys. He's going to land heavy shots on the ground. Going to land those takedowns. So I could see Vince for sure winning the fight. And he's a good value play. 7,800. That's a good price. If he was cheaper, that would be even better. If he was the favorite, I would not want to pick him. But since he's the underdog and he's cheaper, I like Vince Pichel here, guys. I think he's gonna get, I want to say, at least 5 takedowns in the fight, and he's gonna land a good amount of shots. I could see Pichel scoring about 80 through maybe even 80 through 100 points, guys. Depends how much takedowns, because I mean, like I said, if we look at his last fights, look at this: 57 significant strikes, 8 takedowns, 8 passes, 123. I mean, let's just say he does like not half of that, but a little bit less than half. He'll still score you, like I said, like 80. Yeah, this guy's ceiling seems to be pretty high. If he's able to really control you and dominate you, he could score up to like 120 points. So I don't see him scoring 120 points, but it would be nice. So, you know, the safe amount of points I say he would score, I think he would score at least 80, like kind of like his average points per game there. So yeah, I like Vince Pichel here. I think he's a good value play, so I'll be picking him. So if you guys want to save some money, you know, I suggest maybe taking a poke at him there. Next fight, Volkanovski. This guy's the most expensive guy on the card. Scored in his last fight, in his UFC debut, he scored 115 points. That's pretty fucking good. 14-1 record. He's fighting Misuto Hirota. This guy's kind of like whatever. Not too impressed by this guy. Yeah, I kind of see Volkanovski just kind of starching this guy, getting like a second round knockout, guys. I think Volkanovski is going to be a little bit too much for Hirota. I think Hirota is actually the cheapest guy on DraftKings on this slate here. I'm not too sure. I think he is though. Yeah, I don't recommend Hirota as a value play at all, and this, for some reason, you see something that I don't. Volkanovski is a negative 650 favorite. The last time I checked, that's pretty fucking high. yeah, everybody thinks Volkanovski's going to win. I think he's going to win. I think he's going to destroy Hirota. And he's going to score a lot of points, guys. Is he worth the 9,300? I would say yes. Not only is he safe, but he could score high. So he is for sure worth that price. And yeah, I would pick Volkan in this matchup. The next fight, Tim Elliott versus Ben nguyen. This is the guy that fucking... I think he's the highest scorer on DraftKings. This is the most amount of points I've ever seen in DraftKings, as far as MMA anyway. 176 fucking points, guys. God damn. This motherfucker scored 176 points. That's a shit ton of fucking points, man. He's gonna fight Ben 10, who's a good striker, but his ground game, he's lacking that ground game. Against Smoka, the guy who Elliott was able to score all those points against, Smoka, the fucking destroyed this guy in the second round, doing like a similar game plan that Elliott did on Smoka. So, you know, yeah, if Smoka got out grappled by Elliott, what makes you think that Ben 10's not going to get out grappled by Elliott? You know, I'm pretty sure Elliott's going to out grapple him. He's going to take him down. His pricing is actually not bad at all. 8,700. I think that's a really good price. If you really think Ben 10's going to be able to catch him and clip him, I say play Ben 10. I mean, he has finishing potential. He could be a good value play, guys. So I mean, you guys want that finish? I mean, and he's cheap, and you want to take a poke at him. I know, fuck it. You know, throw Ben in like 1 or 2 lineups. You know, you're making like 10 lineups. Maybe throw him in 1 or 2. If he wins, you know, he's gonna score pretty high, as you guys can see here. When he wins, he's scoring 90 through 120 something points. When he loses, he ain't doing shit because he's on the ground getting fucking grappled. And that's the way I see this fight playing out. I see Elliott just grappling him. So I have to pick Elliott in this spot, guys. But you know, Ben 10 also not a bad value play there. Next fight, Cutelaba against Henrique the Silva. This guy's coming off a loss. We got the Silva here, also coming off some losses. Yeah. So first of all, Cutelaba is a finisher, same as Silva. Both these guys are finishers. Cutelaba's gone to his wrestling game now. In his last fight, he actually landed 6 takedowns. This guy's he has a Greco-Roman wrestling background. Really good Greco-Roman wrestling. He's for sure going to take the fight to the ground, man. Henrique the Silva, his weakness is the ground. His takedown defense is what he's lacking. In his last fight against Jordan Johnson, he got pretty much out grappled in the fight. He couldn't stay off his, you know, couldn't stay on the feet. He was on his back most of the fight, and as a result, he only scored 11 points. But when this guy could keep the fight standing and you can't take him down, I mean, as you can see, he's scoring high. Why? Because he's finishing fights and he's landing shots. Henrique could be a sneaky, you know, a sneaky value play if you really like Henrique the Silva. But from what I've seen from him, the takedown defense is gonna fuck him over here in the fight. And Cutelaba, like I said, in his last fight, finally started using his wrestling. Look at his first 2 fights in the UFC, he's not wrestling, no takedowns. His last fight against Cannonier, a good striker. Kind of like another Henrique de Silva, but except Cannonier's a little bit better on the feet, a little bit quicker and whatnot. Cutelaba was able to take him down 6 times, and he, even on a loss, he scored pretty much 60 points. That's pretty good. So that's in a loss. Imagine in a win, you know. So yeah, I like Cutelaba here in this spot. I see him winning by decision. I can't see him really finishing Henrique de Silva. He seems to be pretty tough. If he does finish him, it's probably going to be like a late finish. But both these guys are heavy hitters. Could get a finish either way. You know, De Silva could be a good value play, guys, but I don't think he's going to be able to stay off his back. He's kind of like another Ben 10. Like, I can't see both of these guys, they're taking on the fence holding up here. So I'm going with Cutelaba here. And I think his pricing at 8,100 is probably a little bit too expensive there, but I'm still going to play him. You know, fuck it. Next fight, Ross Pearson versus Dan Hooker. Pearson's a veteran, losing a lot of his fights, though. We got Dan Hooker here, is also coming off a loss. When this guy wins, he's finishing and he's scoring high. So you guys can see there, 96 points, 96 points. Okay, so both these guys are strikers. Like I was saying in my prediction videos, you know, I think Hooker's going to be using a stick and move game plan. I think the fight's going to go to decision. I could see maybe some people using Pearson here as a little bit of a cheaper value play because he is the cheaper guy. But I do think Hooker is going to be able to win the fight here, guys. I think Hooker's just going to be a little bit too fast on the feet. He has a 6-inch reach advantage. He's going to be throwing that straight left all day. He has a really good straight left. He has good footwork, good head movement. I think if he just stays out of the pocket against Pearson, he's just going to be able to outpoint and outstrike Pearson from the outside. So I think Hooker gets the win. I think he could be maybe like a good, cash game play. On GBP, I still played him on a lineup because I just said fuck it, just squeeze him in there. I could see him in a win. Let me see what we got here. He hasn't won by decision in the UFC, but let's just say he could probably score you 70 through 90 points in a decision win. So, yeah, I think Hooker could get it done. And that's going to be my play, guys. But if you guys like Ross Pearson, if you guys think he could catch Hooker early, then I say fuck it, pick him. But, yeah, I mean, both these guys are similar priced. And why not just pay a little bit more for Dan Hooker, who I think is a little bit more safer. So, yeah, I'm picking Dan Hooker. All right, next fight I got Daniel Kelly versus Derrick Brunson. Daniel Kelly's on a fucking win streak, man. Look at this guy. So yeah, this guy, when he's winning, his average is 71.5. This guy has a really good judo. Has that Olympic judo background. He's gonna fight Derrick Brunson, a guy that starts fast. He's a quick finisher. Always finishes people in the first round. Really good wrestling to counter Daniel Kelly's judo game. So, that spells problems for Daniel Kelly. If Kelly can't take him down, then I can't really see Kelly outstriking Brunson, man. Brunson has 7-inch reach advantage. He's going to be a lot bigger. And I think Brunson, if he starts out fast, like he would do before, he's going to get another first-round knockout here, guys. Another thing to note here is Kelly got knocked out by Sam Alvey, who got knocked out by Derrick Brunson. So imagine that. If Brunson comes out explosive, comes out fast, hits Kelly early, he's gonna knock him out, man. Kelly's getting old. He's like 39 years old now. His body, starting to give out on him, man. He has some fucking fucked up knees and shit from all that judo. Yeah, Brunson has all the advantages here in the fight. He's the better striker. The ground game, I mean, I don't really see the fight going to the ground. I think Brunson is gonna keep it on the feet and just knock him out. He's gonna start fast. He's gonna KO him. I can't see Kelly taking him down because, like I said, the wrestling is gonna be able to counter that judo. Yeah, and I see Brunson not being able to outmuscle him anyway. So, yeah, I don't see Brunson winning by decision here. I see him getting a quick finish. So his price is good, $9,000. I could see him going out there, getting that first round knockout. But I mean, everybody always underestimates Daniel Kelly. I've been underestimating him. And fuck it, I'm gonna still keep doing it, man. This guy's gonna go down. Rashad Evans, motherfucker couldn't even take out Daniel Kelly. Like, what the fuck? But nah, man, Brunson's gonna take him out, guys. So yeah, I really like Brunson here. If for some reason you think Kelly could survive the onslaught from Brunson, then fuck it, play Daniel Kelly. I mean, he's very cheap. Could be a very sneaky value play right there. But I'm not gonna play him. All right, now for the main event here, we got Mark Hunt versus Derrick Lewis. Mark Hunt is the cheaper fighter, the more of a value play. $8,000, 58.5 is his average. Derrick Lewis, his average is 76.3. He is $200 cheaper. This guy's on the win streak. Mark Hunt, getting older. Got knocked out in his last fight against Overeem, but obviously Overeem's just a fucking beast. He's one of my favorite fighters. But yeah, I mean, both these guys come out to bang, and it's gonna be about who has the better chin and who can land first. And I think Mark Hunt could land first, and I think for sure he has the better chin, man. Derrick Lewis, this guy's not undefeated. He's been knocked out before. He got knocked out against Matt Mitrione, who's a really good, slick puncher, has some good boxing. He was able to knock him out in the first round. Then he also got knocked out by Sean Jordan, and Sean Jordan's not even in the UFC anymore. So yeah, for sure Mark Hunt could catch him early. I know this is, Mark Hunt's getting old and whatnot, but still has punching power. Still very durable, even though he's been knocked out in his last fight. He's still very durable. That doesn't mean Lewis can't knock him out. I'm just saying, as far as durability goes, I think Mark Hunt's still more durable. I think Lewis is a little bit more chinnier, or a little bit more chinny than Mark Hunt. I feel like a lot of people think Lewis has a good chin because he never really gets caught in his fights. But if he gets caught, he's going to go down, man. Lewis doesn't have the best chin, in the heavyweight division, man. It's usually he's winning his fights because he's landing first and he lands fucking bombs, I mean, he could do the same to Mark Hunt, but I think Mark Hunt is the better striker, way more technical on the feet, having that K1 kickboxing background. And also, like I said, he has the power, has a really good chin, still durable. He's gonna be able to take those shots, fighting in his home country or whatever, you know, over there in New Zealand. So yeah, he's gonna have a lot of fans there, hometown crowd. Yeah, I see a lot of stuff going against Derrick Lewis. Also, on another note, Lewis almost got finished his last fight by Travis Brown. Travis Brown was the more technical guy. He hurt him to the body, just was not able to take advantage of Lewis being hurt to the body, man. So that really fucked him over. But yeah, Lewis is gonna get knocked out in this fight, guys. I can't see him beating Mark Hunt. You know, as far as it being like a technical stand-up fight, because like I said, Lewis just isn't that technical, guys, man. He makes some mistakes there in the fight. People just haven't been able to capitalize. But Mark Hunt, he's gonna go out there. He's gonna capitalize on this guy's mistakes. He's gonna see that his striking isn't that good. He's just a big guy with a lot of power. He's gonna see that. He's gonna capitalize, and he's gonna hurt Derrick Lewis, and he's gonna take him out, guys. So I'm picking Mark Hunt to win by second round knockout. First round might be kind of like a feeling out type of round, so that's why I'm saying second round. So yeah, I think Mark Hunt gets the win. He's cheaper. I mean, I don't see the fight going 5 rounds, but if it goes 5 rounds, you know, that's even more of a reason to pick Mark Hunt. Because even if he does lose, and if it does go 5 rounds, which I doubt it does, he's gonna score some points. So there is that. But I think Mark Hunt gets the finish in the second round, guys. So that's gonna be my pick. But if you guys like Derrick Lewis, you know, you guys are on his, you know, hype train or whatever, then fuck it, you know, pick him. I mean, he has knockout power, but I don't think he's going to be able to get it done. So, yeah, guys, that's going to be it for my DraftKings video. Pretty much talked about all the fights there. Sorry if it was a really long video, but just wanted to go over everything. Like I said, those are pretty much my favorite plays. To give you guys my favorite value play here on the whole card would have to be Mokhtarian. He's fighting against Moraga. He's hella cheap, which is why I'm picking him as my favorite value play, and I could see him getting the knockout. So I like Mokhtarian as my favorite value play, and as my favorite play, or, you know, pretty much the favorite play, right? You know, the guy who's supposed to win, the most expensive play or whatever. The guy that I like here for the most favorite play is, yeah, Volkanovski. This guy's gonna score high. Just a fucking beast. He's gonna run through. I think he's gonna score like 100 points. So Volkanovski, that's my favorite play right there for as far as the most expensive play, you know. But yeah, that's gonna be it, guys, for this video. Yeah, sorry it took so long. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos. I do these UFC videos, UFC related videos whenever there's a UFC card. And yeah, here are my picks for DraftKings. Let me know how you guys do on DraftKings. And yeah, I'm gonna see if I win today also. So yeah, enjoy the fights, guys. That's gonna be it, and catch you guys on the next video.